Ever watch one of those stop motion films and think, how'd they make that move?
Right.
It's like they're breathing life into still images one frame at a time,
Uh,
like a flip book come to life.
yeah, totally.
Well, you sent us this great piece about teaching stop motion to year 5 students,
Oh, cool.
and we're going to take a deep dive into the magic behind this filmmaking technique.
Awesome.
And, it's something that many of us played around with as kids,
Yeah, definitely.
maybe with like clay figures or toys.
For sure, stop motion is like a really accessible art form.
Yeah.
It's all about creating the illusion of movement by using a bunch of still images.
Right.
Each one just slightly different from the last one.
Our source outlines these key steps.
Okay.
So first imagine that you're the animator.
Okay.
You got to start with your actors, the stars of the show.
Got it.
Puppets, clay figures, Legos, literally anything goes. That's up to you.
Cool.
But then those actors need a stage, right?
Yeah.
They need a carefully built background. It sets the scene and kind of determines the mood of the animation.
For sure.
You could think of it as like the world where your story happens. Okay, so we have our actors in our set.
Got it.
Now, how do we make the move?
Well, that's where the skill of the animator really comes in.
Okay.
So they meticulously position those objects, snap a picture, which we call a frame,
Okay.
and then they're going to move those objects just a tiny bit,
Right.
snap another picture, and just keep repeating that.
Got it.
Each frame is kind of like a word in a sentence. It's
Right.
like building towards a complete story.
I can already tell this takes a ton of patience. You
Yeah.
need a lot of patience.
A lot.
The source also mentions onion skinning,
Yeah.
which sounds more like something you'd do in the kitchen
Right.
than an animation tool.
Exactly.
But what is onion skinning?
Well, onion skinning is basically a visual aid.
Okay.
It helps animators make smooth movements.
Got it.
It lets them see a faint outline of the previous frame while they're setting up the objects for the next one.
Oh, so they can see where the object was before.
Exactly.
Oh.
Without it, it would be super hard to make those movements look seamless.
I see.
It's kind of like having a ghost image guiding you so your characters don't jump around all over the place.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's really cool how this technique helps the animators keep track of all these tiny details frame after frame.
Yeah.
But even before they start shooting, there's a crucial planning stage, right?
Right.
Our source mentions a storyboard.
Yeah, a storyboard is basically like a visual roadmap for the entire animation. So it's like a series of sketches that lays out the order of events
Right.
and shows how the story will flow.
Got it.
And this is where the animator decomposes all those movements they want.
What does decompose mean?
It means they're breaking them down into tiny little steps
Okay.
that will then be captured one frame at a time.
So the storyboard is like a blueprint
Yeah, you could say that.
for the whole animation.
Oh,
It's amazing to think that every little movement is planned out ahead of time.
Yeah, it really is.
But even after you take all those pictures, there's still a bunch more magic that happens in the editing room.
Right, editing is like the final step that brings all that footage to life.
So what exactly happens during editing?
So in editing, we're going to take all those individual frames
Okay.
and we're going to put them in order, add transitions,
Right.
put in some sound effects and some music, all that stuff to make the story even better.
So it's like taking all those words, the frames,
Yeah.
and turning them into like a captivating story.
Exactly.
So we've gone from these static objects to a moving story,
We have.
all thanks to this awesome process of stop motion.
Stop motion's the best.
What I think is so cool is how all these key terms, animator frame, background, onion skinning, storyboard,
Yeah,
they all work together to make something really special.
totally. It's
Yeah.
this perfect mix of art and technical skill. You know, some people say that stop motion is becoming outdated,
Yeah.
especially with all these advancements in CGI.
True.
But I think that tactile, hands-on quality
Uh-huh.
gives stop motion a charm you just can't replicate.
Right.
It's going to have a lasting appeal.
I agree. There's a certain magic in watching these objects come to life through stop motion.
Definitely.
Now, here's something to think about.
Okay.
Next time you're watching a movie, any movie,
Huh?
see if you can spot the seams between the frames.
Okay.
Can you see the animator's hand at work?
I like that.
That's the magic of understanding stop motion.
Right.
It changes how you see everything.
That's so true.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into stop motion.
Of course.
And remember, keep sending us your questions, and we'll keep bringing you the answers.
Sounds good.